1984, and a Los Angeles News article reads, 2 teenagers were arrested Tuesday on suspicion of narcotics and weapons violations at a South Los Angeles residence linked to one of 2 drug syndicates involved in a war over control of the area's cocaine market. Lieutenant Bill Hall said there's no doubt that the 2 suspects were allied to a cocaine syndicate called Whitey's Enterprises, one of 2 groups that has emerged in a bloody war that police say is responsible for at least 25 murders over the last 8 months. This is ballin' at its finest.
This is Los Angeles.
What up, y'all? Welcome to another segment of the Dub C and CJ Mack Show.
I am CJ Mack.
And I'm still Dub C.
Yes, sir, and always will be. What's up, bro?
What up, C Mack?
We back. Another season,
we
man.
Never left.
Another season to tell the truth, have some fun, man, and uplift people, right?
Feel good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's going on, man?
Man, I'm good, man. You know me, been hustling. That's what I always do. You know what I mean? We got a couple films coming out, projects, and grinding.
Scripts of fire.
Scripts of fire.
Scripts
you know
of
what I'm
fire.
saying? And you've been on stages all across the world.
Yeah, get ready to go back out next week, too.
Yeah, when you gonna take me, brother?
Next trip.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring you next trip, see, man.
It's always next trip, man. You know what I mean?
Nah, dude, I'm gonna bring you next trip.
I carry like I carry cases. I carry some
We all carry.
we
We all carry.
Remember, I wouldn't carry the radio.
Yeah.
I never
CJ Mack would never carry the radio when we went out
man.
of town because it was a stereotype to him that all black people, you know what I'm saying, used to walk through with the Iba Oba.
Yeah, I was going to walk through with the Fat Albert Gang boombox, bro. I just wasn't going to do it.
And Tunes used recipes used to always have a big-ass radio. Remember that?
Yeah. Tunes was crazy. And he tried to make me carry it just on GP so he can get a laugh out of me, right? And I'm like, nah, bro. I'm not Russell from
this dude
Fat
really
Albert
was
Gang,
like it was like taboo to test your radio.
No, I wasn't doing it, bro. It was just something about it. I don't walk through the airport with no boombox, bro. I just couldn't do that, bro. I just thought I was a little flyer than that. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do it.
You can't be ashamed of who you are, though.
So speaking of fly, today, man, we have a guest that I looked up to for many, many years, man. Man, we've had a lot of hustlers on this show, man, and street generals.
Yeah.
But I think we might have numero uno today.
Who we got today?
Right? And I know somebody else could be hating on that, but that's cool. I'm talking about it. Man, we got a general, man. We got a guy that's, he started off, not in the 80s, but the 70s. He's an architect of the rules of this game. He taught many how to hustle. Many of us emulated him to try and reach his status, even though, you know, that's a tall climb, right? So anyway, man, we have Whitey of Whitey Enterprises.
I heard of Whitey before.
Yeah, and if you know, maybe you sleeping on a rock because you was a kid or something, that's cool, I'm gonna excuse you. But if you was in the game, then you heard that name. Even though you probably didn't see him because I didn't used to see him. But anyway, we got Whitey. What's happening, Whitey?
Man, I thank you guys for having me. Let's get down to this bullshit.
Let's get down to the business, man, all right? We done did all the pleasantries and stuff, right? So, man, you know, I want to bring you on here. First of all, I like to say that, you know, sometimes we get comments from people for bringing on our legends of these streets, man. And, you know, you guys are much more than that, but sometimes that's all people see. So they kind of tend to think we glorifying those times. The 80s were turbulent times. They were rough for people that got addicted. People end up going to prison, all these things. So that era, I'm gonna say the crack era, even though your reign extends much farther than that. It was turbulent times, so some people think, why glorify it? Why glorify it? But it's a part of what our history is, and it's a part of what, you know, what we are. So what is your opinion on that?
Wow, that's a whole lot. You know, life got a whole lot of twists and turns. And a whole lot of people will sit back and say, why black people glorified the things that's going on? But the Rockefellers, we talk about the Rockefellers, you guys glorify the Rockefellers. You guys glorify the Kennedys.
Yeah.
But you guys got to understand the history of the Kennedys and the Rockefellers. The Rockefellers took all the property from all the blacks and whites and gave them 10, 15 cents. So they stole it. So here come the Kennedys, Joe Kennedy. You guys may not know who Joe Kennedy is. Joe Kennedy ran all the bootleg liquor, and he ended up owning Seagram's Gin and Canada Mist. So all his whole family have ties to the criminal activities of life.
Right.
So then you turn around and you look at the other people and you say, who else doing all these things? So look at the banking system. When you look at the banking system, who run the banks? So the banking system really took care of our ancestors years ago and put all of them in slavery because they wasn't the one who financed the slavery. So we sit back and we had these conversations, and the conversation is, why do you glorify what happened in LA and the other states? Well, sometimes your history got to be told because everybody want to take black history away. And black history should not be took away. You should sit back and look at black history and improve. Every time you make a next step, you say, how can I be better than my other people was? So you put your kids in better situations and you put yourself in a better position so you can understand your next step, so you can make your kids proud of you. And then when the black kids walk in the store, they see a black man in the store, they can say, we can have this.
Speak on it, goddamn man. Come on now, Whitey.
How old were you when you decided you wanted to make a change in your life financially and you was going to take to the streets to do it?
So my life started kind of different from you guys' life. When I was in the world at a young age, they was getting $3.85 an hour. And we had two parents in the house. So those two parents couldn't even keep all the food on the table. And when you walked on Broadway, you seen all the pimps and all the hustlers, and they had Cadillacs. They didn't have Mercedes-Benz, they had Cadillacs. And they had all the money. What we thought was money, it was some chump change, but at that time, $20,000 was a lot of money. And these brothers, these older brothers, they liked it me. Like my brother talked about me all the time. You a hobo, you this right here. And I cleaned everybody's wheels and cleaned their houses out. So I was that 6 to 13 years old. And I end up learning more about the game than the rest of my friends because they were still at home with their mothers. And I had to make sure I had to buy my mother cigarettes and other things because I got 9 brothers and 2 sisters. So my job was hard from the jump. And I had to take care of my little brother and my little nephew. So at 13 years old, I decided that I learned enough and it was a lick up. And I had to go hit the lick just to go buy 3 grams of heroin. And 3 grams of heroin at that time took me to a level that most people would never understand what heroin meant at that time because it wasn't taking a 1, it was taking a 13. So when you sit back and you look at the past, you say, can the people today do what you did? I say no, because it's hard to find some followers so you become a great leader. The players that I hung out with, we was 13, 14 years old, running in the jewelry stores, and a whole lot of people just put it in one place. So I'm gonna elaborate a little farther. When we got off the porch, we was on an airplane going to Mississippi, Chicago, Texas, Florida, because it was a lick up and we had to have the jewels in it because they was holding our jewels for us. In my eyesight, every jewelry store in America had our stuff just holding it for us to come and pick.
They had your jewels.
Yeah, they was mine.
You got to claim it. They say you got to claim it.
When you sit back and you reach and grab, and you be like, wow, and it was a great thing. Then you understand the tip tap, you understand the trim. So we was using a trim trail going up in jewelry stores, busting the pie face and lift up everything. And when we came back, we were like 500,000 a head in jewels.
Wow.
And at that time, it wasn't no cocaine.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that the hustle was a little bit different before the cocaine era.
Jewel boys, when you talk about shaking all those dudes, you talk about dudes pulling up in 450 SLs, they looking, but they only 13, 14, 15 years old.
Wow.
Jewel boys.
Jewel boys.
Wow.
They jewel thieves. We played with the cash register. We walked in not Ralph's, Thrifties. It was Thrifties at that time. And they used to have a lock on the case. And we go get the wire cutters and go cut the lock off ourselves and take the money bag and go back out the door. Because we paid. This is how we got paid in those days. So when people be talking about all these dudes, what they do, they got cocaine money. Cocaine money was tip money to us because we was already hustling at an early age. So when they looked up and said, what are you guys doing? We was like, we're just going to pick up our stuff because they holding it. It's different. They holding our stuff.
So safe to state, doing jewelry, going to pick up your jewelry. At 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
Right? So how did they come about going to the next phases? And when did that was already getting real money.
Yeah, we already getting paper.
Yeah. So what was the next phase?
What you asking me for?
No, I'm just looking at you, but I'm asking him, what was the next phase?
So, when I was young, I was a kid, but I was structured in a different way. I was structured by Tootie Reese, Bill Jones, Howard Johnson, Blue Turner.
These are LA legends that did not snitch, by the way.
Jap, Cuz, Harry Jenkins. These were these, and then, the Suge. Not you guys Suge, but Suge, Raymond Wright. The dude who started the BGF, him and Doc Holliday. These was my idols who taught me how to structure myself and structure my team. So, everything is a team game, but everybody right now is saying it's a me thing. A me thing gets you killed. A team thing, you get paper. You get papered out the game. So as I was looking at my team, I was looking back at the other team that I came from, the guys who raised me and trained me and put me in the right position to be successful. They taught me that these guys right here are going to get you rich and you're going to get all the money. But I walked away from there like, nah, it don't go like that. I need to flip this because I come off of 56 in Maine. And all my guys come off of that neighborhood. And we looked at each other because we were all hungry at the same time. We all called mama and daddy the same thing. Everybody was mama and everybody was daddy. So we ate in each other's house because nobody had no money. So when I hit the lick, I immediately brought some heroin. And when I brought the heroin, I had to tell them, guys got to hold back for a few days. Let me flip this because the old dudes taught me the whole game. So we took over 56 in Maine. We took over the block, but nobody could do nothing about it because I had all the young Crips in America on my team right on Broadway, and they was with me. We've been together since we was in the sandbox at 5 years old. So as I structured everything, they was in a move like, how much money are we gonna get? And I'm like, I don't know. Let me figure this one out. So as I figured it out, we found out that we were getting $25,000 a day on the block. And I was still going to school. Still going to school every day.
Right.
I'm on the block at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm leaving at 7:45 to get to school. Come back at 12 o'clock, work to 1, then transfer and go back to Bethune Junior High School. I'm Bethune Junior High School, and we working. And then when I come home from there, I hit again. Then I go to baseball practice. So I got to go play sports too because I'm with the team. It ain't I and team, I'm with the team. So the team just helped me develop my way of thinking. And each time I looked at one of them, I'm like, it's your turn on the block. Your turn on the block. And we rotated. And we kept rotating. And everything just became a habit. And we just did this right here. And when we looked up, we was paper out the game. But my thing was that I didn't stay in the city that long. I had to leave Johnny K in the city to control whatever had to be controlled. But he was only 11 years old.
Wow.
On the block.
11 years old.
Doing what he know how to do. Stooley 8 years old. He on the block. We already done bagged all the heroin up. So we good. And Al, Woody, all of them, they with him. So all these boys off 56 in Maine, between Maine and Broadway, they own this team. This team is fully loaded. And we wasn't turning the cheek to nobody.
So where are the adults at this time with all these kids?
11 years old, 8 years old.
So you got to understand the difference of today and that time. The kids had so much respect that you didn't see them run rap because everything was hidden because it was a secret society that we lived in. It wasn't like everybody was glamorizing oh, we get some money. It's like, you can't get high. You can't drink. Granny gonna hit you. But it was still like these old ladies telling us, take the trash out. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
And we didn't curse because it was against the rules to do all these things. So we stayed true to the game and we stayed true to our parents because, again, all these was our parents. It wasn't nobody but our parents because everybody was mama and daddy. And whatever they needed, that's what we was going to give them. If somebody had to get their rent paid, somebody on the block had to go give somebody some money to pay that rent. So the structure that we was under was so complete that none of us never had a fight with each other.
Wow.
Damn, that's deep. I mean, you hear so many different stories about how things was, but I ain't never heard it like this one right here. That's crazy, you know.
It's crazy because it's almost like now youngsters are out in the street, but they have no direction. You started off with some sort of direction, and you had people mentoring you to kind of teach you the road and show you what to do, even if it was the street guys, right? But nowadays, you got young kids, man, they in the streets early right now.
Yeah.
Except they don't have any rules. And no one teach them anything. And they don't respect elders.
Not at all. No, that's one of the biggest problems now. Right now you can go to a school and you can say, I'm gonna call your mom up, like I was telling y'all. The kid now, so?
Oh, yeah.
It's no fear.
They running her.
Yeah, where your daddy at? I don't know. He live whoop. And the mama, I'm not saying it's like this with all women, but the mama is so mad at the daddy for whatever reason, at a lot of times, to where there's no man to instill that structure. Something you said earlier is so important. You said there was no me. It was no I, no just me like that. It was a structured team. It was all of us looking out for each other. That's something right now that everybody's for self.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to telling and all kinds of shit, everybody's doing whatever they got to do for self. There's no more, me. But I want to hear some more of the story though, man, of, when y'all started off with the jury licks, doing your thing, and then you was talking about the heroin. How did you get deeper into the game?
So, the game is the game. It's this one line different from other people. Like today's people, they hustle how people let them hustle. But with me, it was like I was so far in the game at an early age that the game changed. You guys' game was cocaine. The heroin game and the jury game was connected. And then the boys came up with some water. So the water game redirected. So they redirected us to the water game. So when you have some money, you can do just about anything you want to do. And me and my team, like I said, it's my team. And when we started looking at things, another older dude grabbed me, shook me up like he wanted to because he was related to me. And they were like, I need you to do something for me. I'm like, oh, what? He said, drive your raggedy car down the street and go pick up all these chems for me. So he gave me a list. I said, I don't know how to read. He said, don't worry about it. Just give it to Jolly. So we rode on Atlantic and Rosecrans to Jolly's. Picked up all this stuff. No problem. I ain't got no problem with that because I understand game. I respect it because I'm a player. Because these old dudes taught me how to be a player. They taught me how to be dumb.
And this is chemicals to make water.
Water.
Yeah.
So I'm dumb. It's good with me. I don't mind being dumb. But before I left my liquor store, that's when I was just working in it. Before I left it, she gave me $700. Here, this is gonna cost this right here. So I went in the liquor store and went in the safe. We got $1,400 out.
Now what this cost?
700. 100, right? This is real shit, right? So it's 700. So I grabbed 14 out the safe. My little brother's like, where we going? We're going to go pick up some new shit. He said, what we gonna do? I said, I don't know, but we're gonna buy it. So when I brought him his batch, I brought me a double batch. Took it back to the house, dropped his off. But I was living with my wife at this time. I'm like 14.
You had a wife at 14, 15?
I've been with my girl ever since we were like 11. take the stuff and put it in the back house. We got all the stuff. So I dropped him off his stuff. So a couple of days passed by, he called me. He said, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm at the store, I'm at work." He said, "I'm going to pick you up at 10 o'clock tonight." So, all right. So he picked me up at 10 o'clock tonight. He took me out and we set some green yards. Okay, cool, no problem. After we set the green yards, the next day, like crystal setting time. So what he do? He breaking down the crystals in front of my face. I'm like, "What you doing?" He said, "Just shut up." So I'm like, "All right, but me, I'm a dummy. You know, sometimes you got to be a dummy to get in the game." So I'm like, "All right, I'll accept the game, dummy." But I'm looking at everything he's doing because I'm getting ready to repeat this as soon as I get this stuff called crystal. Because right now I don't know where no crystal's at, but I'm gonna get these crystals. So it's all good. He said he give me a half a gallon. You got 50, no problem. I'm good. I'm good, right? So me and my little brother, we good. We sell the half a gallon. We buy 2 gallons from them. So next thing you know, we at my boy's Fat Carl's house. And my little brother like, they said they got some pipe in the back house. I'm like, let's go look. I got the keys. When it opened, they got 5 55-gallon drums of pipe. No problem. So me and my little brother went down to a bottle shop on McKinley and Slauson. So we went and got 10-gallon bottles, put it all in the bottles. But you had to put the mask on, pour it and smoke it all, choke you out. We got 10, right? We good, we got 10, but we still don't know how to set crystals yet. No problem. So my boy, he called me from jail. Like, "What's up, baby?" I'm like, "Ain't nothing." He like, "I need you to do something." I said, "What?" "I need you to go to my mama's house and I'm gonna walk you through something." So he walked me through setting the crystals. Boom. You know, make sure that mask on. All right, so I set the crystals, cool. I set like 4 gallons of crystals. He said they're gonna be ready in 18 hours. He said, "I mean, you already got the green yards." I said, "Yeah." Made his stuff for him. So when he came home from jail, like a month later, he was on the boat. He was gone. He balling again. You know, he drive a yellow Carnage, 67 yellow Carnage. Ooh, he's fly as fuck, right? With the green eyes, you know. They call him the big wizard, right? So he's good. You know, my little brother looking at each other like, yeah. So he pulls up like a week later and said, "Where you guys get some water from?" I'm like, "We brought it." He's like, "All right." But they found out that we had water. We had the whole east side sold up. We was on the west side on Raymond and 29th, sold up. We was in Pasadena, sold up. We had everything. Me and my little brother, we selling heroin, we selling water, we selling weed. The team just spread it everywhere. And they saying, "What you guys don't do?" Man, we from Whitey's Enterprise. We do everything. So at the end of the day, it was like, "What's up?" Like some more of it. And they like, "What?" So one of the dudes from off the west side, it was the first time I heard it. They said, "You niggas is fabulous on 52nd Street." I said, "It is what it is. That's what we are. We are 52nd. We fabulous." They're like, "Huh?" And dude like, he is out of control. And Benzo L like this, like, we are out of control. And you know, Benzo L is a walking legend right today. Right. You know, and he never went to jail. Right. So when I sit back and I look at people and they talk about what it's supposed to be, I tell them sometimes you're supposed to look at people and duplicate what they do. And then you'll be successful in your field. But you got to be a ghost.
Yeah, he who hides the best lasts the longest. So how did the Whitey's Enterprise start? And who named it Whitey's Enterprise?
Well, it was between Cartoon, Cubone, and a couple more of them. All of them say they named it. You know, it ain't no INT.
Why? Yeah, right. So you didn't name it yourself.
No.
They gave the crew the name.
The crew gave it to me. Like,
yeah.
you You the boss? I ain't no boss. I'm just here making sure you guys eat. They're like, all right.
So how important was that to you to make sure that everybody ate?
Well, this right here is gonna make you really understand my understanding of life. I had 9 brothers, 2 sisters, and we went to bed hungry some nights. My team all around me fed me every time I got an opportunity. And every day I used to go to bed, I said, if I ever get good, I'm gonna look out for everybody. And I follow that example right now that I make for myself, that my team who's around me, I try to make sure that all of them got something to eat. So every man who call themselves, you my friend, your friend supposed to make sure you all right, and you supposed to make sure your friend is all right. And if you don't do that, he's really not your friend. It's just somebody you're trying to use so someone can stay away from you or something like that. But when you say, this my friend, you're not going to try to destroy your friend, and you're going to make sure your friend have something to eat. And you want to make sure that your friend's children have something to eat, because it's important for us as black people, because I love me some meat. And when I look at my black partners, I'll be like, you got your own money. You got some money, and some kind of way, I'm going to find a way to get some more money. And right today, I run a nonprofit. And the nonprofit is not for me. It's for my friends who are around me. And we sit back every day and try to figure out how we're going to teach these kids how to be his friend instead of being his enemy on the slide. Because there's so many people say, man, that's my friend. But every time you don't have no money, he won't buy you a sandwich. But he keep on saying he's your friend. And why would you have somebody around you who's really not your friend and keep on hollering about, oh, that's my partner? But if he got everything and you have nothing, or he treating everybody around him like they some shit, but you my friend. And that's not a good fit. Because what happened is dudes like that end up being come up missing, and then the questions come like, why they shoot him in his head?
All right, so look, we're going to stop right there.
Man.
That was a good place to stop. We're going to come back to that. I need to take a little small commercial break right now. We need to pay the bills around here real quick, right? So we'll be right back. I'm CJ Mack.
I'm Dub C.
And we here with Whitey, sucking up a whole bunch of game, man. I hope
Yeah.
y'all, the young cats, is listening, right? And we're going to show you how it makes a difference.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. New drop. New drop. We got hoodies like these. Come shop. Come cop. New drop. We got brand new tees. New drop. New drop. Come cop. New drop.
You always take your shit too far.
What? What?
Where at?
Only at dubcandcjmac.com. Welcome back. Thank you for staying tuned. I am CJ Mack.
And I'm Dub C.
And you still tuned into the Dub C and CJ Mack show. And we're still here with Whitey, the OG, the man, the myth. Give us a little bit of game.
You dropping so much game. I just got a question. You said that you guys were getting down with the heroin. When did the cocaine thing come in, where you jumped on the cocaine?
So they could really understand, like cocaine came in when Richard Pryor and Smokey Robinson and all them was using cocaine.
Okay.
So that's the 70s, like the late 70s, 79. And at that time, cocaine was like $2,800 an ounce. And they were freebasing.
Wait, how much?
$2,800 an ounce. They were freebasing. Now, Miami, cocaine was $60,000 a key. $60,000 a key. And the great thing about it was that you guys look at it like the Colombians had control of the cocaine, but nah, it was the boys downtown. You know, the Turks, the Iranians, they had all the cocaine. You know, Tootie and them, you know, Tootie. What can we say about Tootie? Tootie, Bill Jones, Howard Johnson. They was the bosses, all bosses. You won't hear them talk about them, because it's not many players know them. They know of the myth. They know of the man. They know of the bosses, but they just wasn't around in that era for real because when they got in the game, it was kind of different. And they was like, came around 1983. And the cocaine era already done took off. It's like dudes out of Marshalls. They used to smoke. They used to be in the Sooty Fox and the Mustang. They just freebase and they got all the girls and everybody walking around there smoking and they run in jewelry stores buying an ounce here for 28, 2 ounces for 56, and that's how it went. And it kept on going like that because for years nobody knew how to cook crack. Period. It was like Benzo Al. Benzo Al had Charlie Lloyd, E.T., Stone. These dudes right here, these are the dudes who really knew what they was doing. And it wasn't a lot of rock houses. If you really go into history, you would really understand that it was a few rock houses in all of LA. And just to be honest, between me and Benzo Al, we had most of all the rock houses. And that was from 70 all the way to like 83. So when dudes started hollering about, we was in it, I just never seen none of them. That's being honest because like everybody tell me all the time, like, why do you know him? I never seen Bo Bennett in my life. I said, what you mean? I said, never seen Bo Bennett in my life. When I seen Bo Bennett, I was coming home, state penitentiary, going to Harry O's trial because Harry O is like my brother. To me, he's everything that he's supposed to be. And when he created Godfather Records, he had Eazy-E, he had Dana Dane, he had all of them at the house in Tarzana, in Encino, and all of them was in and out of his house, and he was the man for real. So that was Harry O, and he was working. His brother Dave was great at what he did. LaRue was great at what he did. Skippy, and then you got to look at Renee McGowan. You got to look at the dudes from Watts. And all these dudes was so great at what they did, and a whole lot of people never seen them.
This is what a lot of people don't understand. Smoking cocaine was a thing that people bragged about at one time. Well before anybody knew the effects and everything, right? And what was going to happen later on in destruction and everything. It was a thing to brag about. It's like a rich man's thing, you know what I mean? To be able, like, people would brag, hustlers would brag, oh, we smoked up 1,700 last night. We smoked up this, that, this, and that, this, and that. I'm talking about the freebasing era.
Yeah. So really, when people start talking about crack cocaine, they already done jumped over smoking cocaine because all the players smoke cocaine. Yeah. All of them. I just don't want to give all their names because they big boys in the industry now. But they smoke cocaine and they literally was freebasing. And we went from the skating range to Vegas, hitting the lick, come back, and all these dudes, all these real players jumping out of Benzes and Roses, and they like we the show, and everybody like, who are they? And it's other guys who you guys recognize. We didn't recognize them at that time because they wasn't nowhere around. So buying 4 ounces of cocaine with a house full of women was no problem because everybody, the finest bras in the city, was there.
And that's like 10,000 at the time.
Yeah, no, it was like
for four.
It was 12. It was like 12,000 for four at that time, right? So at the end of the day, it was so many players because you guys have recognized the dudes as real players. Like those players, those dudes out of Marshall. Ooh, look how good they look. They got the big jewels on, the big pieces. Low rider pull in the pool hall, jump out the car. He got a piece around his neck, cost $2 million because he stole all the jewels, and he got the big 3 carats in it, and everybody looking good. And they go to Charlie Neal's or they go to a wine billiards, and it was a saying, I want the 3 C's: cocaine, Columbia, and cognac. And this how it was going down, and we like this, and HB come in with 17 Chinese girls because he only had Chinese girls and they was on Sunset at Orange at the Pancake House. And you like, ooh, this is amazing. This is a great show. But you getting all the money. And somebody want to stick a broad on you like, yeah, I'm about to break her in a minute. You know, she broke because cocaine gonna make me break her because I'm the biggest pimp in America because I got all the cocaine and all of them lined up because at this moment, everybody is getting high because everybody want to be down. You know, not down getting the money. They want to say, I got this cocaine and they got these little bitty tubes. They slip it all up their nose. I'm like, look at these damn fools. And my brother looking at me like, man, keep breaking these motherfuckers. And this is what we were doing because it was up for us to break these dudes. No matter what somebody said, my job was to make sure that when I left that bowling alley or that Hawaiian billiard, I have all the money in my bag. And I had all the money. I used to bring 4 or 5 ounces up and sell scenes for $100. Scenes for $100. All the pimps on Orange, they sniff and we laugh and like, oh, these whores, look, these whores bring this money. And the pimps get it, they hand it right to me. Ooh, wait, this so sweet, it's unbelievable, right? But this cocaine. Right. Because now it's no crack houses really. Because everybody's sniffing cocaine. And then they start freebase and then Richard Pryor burned himself up. You know, it was all on the news. Richard Pryor, so everybody wanted to smoke. Now they have 151 freebase.
Everybody wanted to burn up.
How high can you get?
Yeah, so this the real story of the game. The game was so beautiful. And when you looked up, it's like Tootie and them got control of the whole streets. You know, I salute, got to Bill Jones, all of them. I know they gone, but I salute them because they gave me so much of a leeway over the rest of the world. And, Benzo Al, we had leeways. We was just doing what we wanted to do and nobody could do anything about it because we was those dudes and we didn't get high. We didn't drink. It was like taboo for us to even think about doing any of it. And the cocaine was just went crazy. And then one day you looked up, Benzo Al, I just came off a lick in Mississippi. They knocked me off in Mississippi. So I came home off the lick. Benzo Al got 2 houses smoking. He getting 50,000 a day. I'm looking at him like, boy, what are you doing? And this girl Jackie like, we getting 50,000 a day. I said, you left me for him? She's like, yeah, you getting 50,000 a day. He stole my girl. Right. And now, I left my girl with about 10, 15 gallons of water. She give me my little piece of money, like, yeah. Like, what's going on?
$50,000 a day.
I'm in love under new management.
Yeah, this is my best partner.
Yeah.
I'm hot. Like, man, you stole my girl. Like, cop and blow, nigga. I don't want to hear that stuff. But his house is booming. So, I'm a player, all players. So I pick E.T., grab him. Like, what's going on? He's like, they cooking rocks. You know how to cook? Yeah. So I get him and Charlie Lloyd. I take him to the house and I tell my sister, go rent me that house on Wall. So she rent me a house on Wall in Santa Barbara. It was Santa Barbara at this time. So we open the rock house. Bam! We do 30 first day.
Wow.
Next thing I know, I'm on 52nd at the upstairs. I tell the boys from Marshall's, like, hey, I got some crack over there, already rocked up. So I had lines. I had about 8 houses in 2 weeks. Just lines up. I got lines everywhere. Everybody, Al turning it up too. He went on King Boulevard in Central next to the Popeye. He turned up, bam, he's going 52nd and Main, turn up, bam. I'm like, ooh, he going Wadsworth, turn up. I'm like, ooh. Now we in the competition. See how many rock houses we can open. So now I bring some girls in. I bring Dean, she come in. To run my joint. She running my joints. Temple, Rachel, Yaya, all of them.
So a female was in charge of running.
That's my girl. It's my girl, Dean. Yeah, Dean's sex machine, Dean. Yeah. So she's at it, right?
The legend.
She got a crew. She got a crew of girls, and all of them loyal to her all the way. And at that time, I was paying $100 a day. You know what $100 a day was at that moment in life? And they was going to Luther Vandross's boyfriend to get their hair did on Wilshire. Oh, these broads, they fly, they jumping out the Benzes, and everybody looking at them, they like shaking their head like, where they from? And like Whitey's Enterprise, and they got the back of their coat say Whitey's Enterprise on the back. I was like, wow.
Whitey's Enterprise.
On the Batman jackets.
Batman jacket like that.
It was a saying that Enterprise do satisfy, and we was satisfying the whole city. So Black Dave with his fly ass, he's fly as fuck. He walks in like, Whitey, get my cut. Give me no cut, and I get my cut. So we kicked him what he wanted, Harry O with him. You got Black Tommy. They rolling now. Redhead Tommy with the Benzo boys. Now Cornell and Darnell, they over there on 112th and Army. They get that cut. St. Louis Herald, he get his cut. So we got a whole mob all over the city. And everybody is coming to me and Benzo Al. We got all the dope in the city at this time. Ain't nobody got no dope. They don't have no crack. Me and Benzo Al got crack. So Al pulls up, he jump out the roads with that high sign shit. I'm like, what you doing? He's like, oh, let's catch up. So he pulls up in a Zimmerman, pulled on Crenshaw. The whole city just stopped and looked. I said, what the fuck is that? He says, this is Zimmerman, baby. This is Zimmerman. I'm like, whoa, wait, my little brother say, what you gonna get? I said, I have no idea. So we bull jiving. I done sold 100 gallons of water. I got water money. Water money is, kind of different. You don't understand it, but water money is kind of different with 25,000 a gallon, and it don't cost nothing to make it for real. It's kind of cheap to make it, and you getting 25,000 selling 100 gallons up in DC and up in Texas, so you paper out the game. So when dudes say, "Oh, cocaine," and we tell everybody today, we didn't do credit. When we bought 100, it was cash money. We didn't do credit. We like to got a deal on them at 50 a key, but we didn't do credit. I can say that.
Wait, 80 what?
This 1980. We didn't do credit. 1980. We didn't do credit. 1980 to 1983.
What was your car choice back then?
I drove a Rolls.
How old was you? You got your first Rolls Royce?
18. I was fly. I was a fly little bastard. Yeah, I was little. Nobody knew who I was. So the police, I'm gonna tell you this right here, you're gonna laugh. The police pulled me over. I'm in the Rolls. I'm on 41st and Broadway. They pulled me over. Get out the car. I said, yeah, how can I help you? They said, who car? I said, my dad's. They said, you know Whitey? I said, I have no idea. My name's Stevie Robertson. So my school books is in the back, in the window. And it got the UC Santa Barbara sticker on it, right? They said, what school you go to? I said, UC Santa Barbara. So the police come pulling up. Harlan Garden pulls up, jump out the car. I say, hey, what you doing over here? I said, the police just stopped me. I'm on my way to my daddy's liquor store, right? They said, oh, he played for the baseball team at the police academy. I said, what? Yeah, he played for the baseball team. They said, oh, okay, so he's a nice one. I said, yeah, he go to the University of Santa Barbara. Jump back in the car, pulled to the store, called my brother on the phone. Hey, you need to get your ass down here to this store and come and get this car. And the Mercedes and everything else, you guys need to put that somewhere in the backyard away from me because I never want to ride them again, right? So they laughing at me like it's a joke. And that day when I realized that I needed not to be seen by the world.
Damn.
So all the cocaine in the world to me was just cocaine. And Dave, rest his soul, he was the most flyest dude in all of America. He was the most flyest dude in all the world. He was so fly that the whole city who was in the dope game took their money to him, and he had no dope at this time because he sold out, and they'll leave $2 and $3 and $4 million at his house, and when he got it, he'd go drop it off to him. He was that so much trustworthy. So the cocaine era is one of those eras that you say, wow, but we talking about cocaine, but we talking about blackjack. We talking about Wizard, Lil Wizard. These dudes just flipped the game where when dudes looking like, oh, we got cocaine money. They laugh and they done brought Ferraris, they brought Porsches. They brand new 1983, 82, jumping out of their cars, looking at you like, yeah, you broke. You got cocaine money. You work for somebody. We don't work for nobody. We papered out the game. And you looking at them like, oh my God, well, this show. The show was unbelievable. It shut down Crenshaw we used to go to the bowling alley on 38th and Crenshaw. We just shut it down. All of us used to pull up. We jump out of these cars and the girls with us. The girls got those big old guns in their purses. And they like, what's going on? Like, ain't nothing. We here. We having breakfast at 3 o'clock in the morning, leaving the skating range, pulling up. Oh man, we had a ball.
Different day and time, huh?
On a different note, man, was it ever a point in your life to where you thought about all the money you was making and where that money was coming from, and besides the hustle scene and the ballers and the players, the individuals that was getting high and spending their money and the kids wasn't eating because the mamas was on drugs, did that ever hit you?
So you got to understand I was a kid. A whole lot of people won't say I was a kid when I was getting all this money. So I never paid that no attention. It's never went on my wave site because the only thing I knew that I was feeding all my homeboys. And then I got new friends from off the west side, up in Pasadena, in different places. So I'm looking out for them. So the other part, when I come on the block and see the kids, like, let's go shopping. So me and the kids, we going shopping. Oh, mama rent got to be paid. You know, some money to pay mama rent. So it never boiled up like, look what you guys doing. That never, when you were a kid, you don't even recognize nothing like that. And a whole lot of people have this misconception trying to act like they want to rewrite history by saying, yeah, I feel a certain kind of way. They lie because they was kids also. You know, I went to jail when I was 23 years old.
Mm.
You know, when I came back home, I was 29. And then when I came back home, I still had to go back in the street because my brothers and the rest of the people, they messed off so much money that my wife don't even have pieces of property for me. So I had to go back and get some more money again. And we could sit back and have this conversation, but this conversation is really mute because nobody in that era paid attention to what happened in the 80s, period. No, because we was kids. And it's not me trying to glamorize, but kids don't understand what they are doing till later on. It's like the basketball players today. They have no idea what they're doing. They just have a lot of money.
Right.
And they got a whole lot of prestige. So whatever they do, they think they're doing right because they still kids. But as you grow in life, you start figuring it out. Like, okay, how do we make this better? But your whole structure is to make sure that your homies and their mothers is having something to eat because you never want to see them without what they're supposed to have. And people talk about the base heads and all that. Our mothers wasn't base heads. Let's be honest with it. Our mothers used to tell us, keep doing that, we're gonna whoop you. Our fathers tell us we're gonna bust your ass. Buy the house, buy the business. And all of us have businesses. And everybody sat back and like, wow, Harry O really truly owned Death Row Records because his money went there because Godfather Records is really a part of Death Row Records. And it's like a limousine service, like Jackson Limousine. They've been there for years, but Harry O had Cartier Limousine. And it was so like car lots, TWK, um, SB&Z, all these car lots, Chucky Mack owning Neiman Motors. So it was unheard of what we was doing with our money. We were staying in big houses all in Laguna Hills, Beverly Hills. So we really put our money into good use. And at a certain time, the feds came like, we can't trick them no more. So we got to put them in prison. So they went and wrote a brand new drug law to put us in prison with. So when we left the streets in 1987, 88, 89, it was a new law being written for them to take all our stuff back away from us so we couldn't leave it to our parents so our parents could be really taken care of while we was gone. And then they gave us life sentences like, you guys never coming back home because we thought that we could destroy all of you guys, but in the process, you guys end up building powerhouses, real corporations right in front of our faces. And you told us, man, we ain't here to destroy our neighborhood. All the cocaine was basically, being honest, was transferred to the suburbs to where white people was at. And white people was using more cocaine than black people was using at an all-time high. And here we are saying it like it is, like our job is to do our job and make sure that we are right. So when the crack law came, they made it 101 and they put us in jail for life.
We're gonna take a break right there, man, and come back. And I want to talk more about that. Where there's a rise, there's in most cases a fall, right? And I like to sometimes say hustlers don't retire, they get tired, for most of us. And let's go back to that, man, and the penitentiary and all that, and the downfalls. We talked about the high points, let's talk about the lows. All right, so we'll be right back. CJ Mack.
Dub C.
Tuned in to the Dub C and CJ Mack Show. We got new merch, y'all. Dub C and CJ Mack Show. And brand new hoodies only at dubcandcjmack.com. If you don't have the tag in the inside, it ain't us. Don't cop from anywhere else except dubcandcjmack.com. Yeah. I want to pick it up where we left off, if you guys don't mind. I want to say this, to every triumphant story, there is a downfall, right? And, if we talk about the glamorous part, we got to talk about the consequences of our actions. So at some point, you got hit.
Of course. See, I got hit different from most people. Like when I first got hit, I'm with a team, and we end up getting in some shit. And at the end of the day, it was like all of them was indicted. So when they got indicted, I was the last one to be picked up, and it was how he looked. But they had something dear to me, my whole team from when we was kids. So I went in, bailed out for $1 million. And we had some mishaps down the road, and it was like, all right, it's time to pay the piper. But the crazy thing about it is I could have walked home. I ain't had to go to jail because I was in Las Vegas when everything took place. But the story is the story like it was. I had to come in and tell them, like, I got to take this deal because my mom said, I can't come home unless my little brother come home with me. I had to go to prison. So I went to prison. I did about 5-6 years, and I came home. And then something else happened, and my wife got murdered. And it was devastated. So 2 months later, I got re-indicted again for narcotics in a couple of different states. And at that time, it was like, what do we do? How do we play this out? And it's against the rules to tell. My crew don't know nothing about telling. It's just against the rules because we was trained by the old people, and we were trained by our mothers and our fathers. And if dudes don't understand what I'm about to say, that means they need to wake up and touch their mom and their father and say, why is this against the rules for me to tell on my brothers? Because your mother and your father tell you every day, do not tell on your brother. And if something happens, you better make sure he get home in one piece, or you better not bring your ass home. Yep. So this is the rules that I've been under all my life. So when it was time for me to walk in the courtroom, my team was looking at me. I was looking at them like, shit, it's time to go to war. I need a suit because I ain't gonna never wear one again. So, the consequences is that when you play in the game, 3 things gonna happen. You're gonna get rich, you're gonna go to jail, or you're gonna get killed. So your rules is real simple. when you walk in a jailhouse, you're gonna man up and be a man at all times. Yeah. When you're in these streets, you're gonna be a man and you're not gonna tell on nobody. You're not gonna walk in the courtroom and holler about, oh, I got a deal coming. Not in the federal house. The feds say, we don't care nothing about your deal because we print the money and we don't need your money. We need you to tell on these people. And dudes say, yeah, I took a deal. Now, with me, you could always understand me. You could Google me. I'm Whitey from Whitey's Enterprise, and I'm in 45 F3D, paid $12.45. And it's gonna be a long story about me not taking a deal, not doing nothing, going to trial, putting everybody to prove that I was guilty of a crime that I said I didn't commit. I'm gonna always not commit a crime, and everybody's gonna keep telling me I did. But at the end of the day, you're gonna go to jail if you in this game. If you're not in this game, you need to keep on going to work every day and not get in this game. And that right there will make you a better person. And I recommend all children to sit back and listen to your mothers and your fathers. And you should go to school and learn everything you can learn so you can become a doctor or a lawyer. Because when I walked in the penitentiary, there's so many young brothers from so many different cliques that came on the yard where I was, and the other guys are telling like, that's Whitey. And I sit back telling like, hey, GED, go get it. You need it. You need to know how to read and write. So if you done did something wrong, you need to go to the library so you can figure out how you're gonna get home. Because it's a paper trail on you everywhere you go. And people trying to act like if they told on somebody that the paper's gonna be hid somewhere. It's not gonna be hid. You can pull it up anytime you get ready and read on people as a whole, and then you'll understand what's going on in the court system. Because when, like I said, when you take a deal, the court system say, stand up and take the deal. And the prosecutor said, I told him I'm gonna give him this much time for him telling me this much. And they be like, wow, so that's how it happened. Like, yeah, the only way that you are not going to be in trouble if you your own co-defendant. If you're there by yourself and you take a deal, there ain't nobody to tell on. But if you got co-defendants and you sit here and take a deal, you got to tell what your co-defendant did as you tell on what you did. Because this right here, the way the federal government works, people try to act like it's not so, but it is so. So if you read the books and read them correctly, you'll sit back and understand. If you get an 848, it's a natural life sentence. A judge can't sit back and say, oh, I like you, so I'm gonna give you 30 years. That's not so. The prosecutor gonna tell the judge, he ain't make no deal with me, so you need to sentence him what that guideline book say. And that guideline book say for 848, you're gonna get a life sentence. So you can talk all the talk you want to, but this is how life go. Now, if you got an 846, 841, and you got 5 or 6 keys of crack, you're gonna get a life sentence. You're gonna be a level 36, and you're gonna get 4 points for leadership. So you're gonna get a life sentence if you're in category 1 or 2 or 3. It don't make a difference. Categories up here, you're gonna get a life sentence. I know it because I had a life sentence, and they took my dope and converted it into crack, so they could make sure they gave me a life sentence. Yeah. So when I sat back and had this conversation with the world, I'm not scared to tell the world. You can go read about me because it's gonna be the truth. And this is the only thing that we know because we want to be truthful. So the young kids today don't go out there and do some dumb shit and try to get in the dope game, because getting in the dope game is like committing suicide. And like I said, I looked at all the young kids walk on the yard because I'm 64, 65, and I seen them and they sit back and talk to me about certain things. And I try to tell them like, look, the journey of life is the journey of life. You're gonna do some good things, you're gonna do some bad things. But right now you're in a situation that you need to learn and understand your next steps. So you need to pick up a book and start reading them. And it's good to read about history. I read about Genghis Khan. I understand Genghis Khan and the loyalty that Genghis Khan had to his crew. And Genghis Khan made sure that his crew was loyal to him. So we sit back and we try to make sure that our younger people know that school is good. Hustling is a consequence come with it.
people don't want to accept it yet, but it's a consequence. If you want to use a gun, you're going to prison for using that gun. If you sell some dope, you're going to prison for selling some dope. If you want to play with some credit cards, you're going to prison for playing with those toys. So we sat back and we learned so much about ourselves, because when you see a young man walking the track with 10 years, a tear really will come down your eye, because you would think he's your son or something. Like, man,
How much time did you do on this last stint?
I did 30. But it's just the point. I deserved every time I got. Every day I got, I deserved every damn day what I got. And I stood up like a man, because I knew I was gonna get it, because when I was a little boy, sitting in James Turner's house, Blues house, Suge house, Tootie Reed's house, Bill Jones' house, they told me, you going to prison if you keep on playing in this game. And I went to prison and I accepted it right off the break. Like, I got to go to jail. This is what I got to do. But I don't wish jail on nobody in America. Nobody who looked like me. I never want to see them standing for 4 o'clock count. So every day when I look at the young brothers right today, I say, how do I make them better than I was?
There you go.
You know, that's the most important thing to me, making them understand that, hey, it's a better way for you guys to play. You guys got computers. You guys got the internet. You guys can be whatever you want to be. You can turn right tomorrow morning and say, I'm going to be a plumber. Plumbers get paid a lot of money to do that job. Everybody's not going to be a rapper. Everybody ain't going to be a basketball player, a football player. They're not going to be a doctor, but they can be construction workers, and they can't own the construction company. Yeah. They can't own their own hamburger stand. They can't own their own smoke shop. They can't own their own market. They can own all these things, but it's up for someone to whisper in their ear, like, you can be whatever you want to be, and there's no limitations on what you can be.
And it's okay to be them things. See, we glorify a lot of times being the rapper, the ball player, you know, the dope dealer. We glorify that as people, as a culture. We don't say it's cool to be that plumber, to be that electrician, to do these jobs where to me, these jobs are always going to be in need, and that we're always going to need somebody to do this. That janitor, that we shit on. We used to shit on when we was younger, like, oh man, whatever. And you get older and you see that the dude is a stand-up dude. He go to work every day to provide for his family. It's unfortunate that we don't glorify that. We don't tell people these are the real heroes. These are some of our real heroes. But I'm just happy that you going through what you went through. Even CJ sit up all the time and tell me, I heard a lot of these stories. I never was one to act like I knew everything about the game, me being around and seeing players getting down, coming up. But I heard a lot of these stories from CJ, and CJ used to tell me that, man, I look back a lot of times at some of the things I've done and the destruction that I've caused on some of these people coming up on what I was doing. Now that I got a second chance, well, really probably not a second, probably a third or fourth chance, because what you guys was doing back in the days, getting down, hustling like that, it's a lot a lot of times you guys survived the bullet, missed the real deal. And I'm not talking about just a death. I'm talking about of getting a lot of time to where you just washed up, because they're giving out lineman numbers now. So CJ said he always wanted to do something. And that's one thing that I commend him on, especially with this platform, and having cats like you sit down and share your game, but then also too talk about, what are you doing now that you have a second chance? And which brings me to another question. Right now you got a school that you're building, right?
Yeah.
What's the name of the school?
It's going to be Fulfilling a Dream.
Fulfilling a Dream.
Fulfilling a Dream Academy. Yes.
And it's teaching kids to do what?
It's teaching kids from 11 to 18 on how to open a computer.
Okay.
And if they graduate from that part, the other team's going to teach them how to do podcasts and work cameras.
Okay.
So everything that we try to do right now is for kids to understand that if we can restructure their thinking ability and teach them how to do coding, they'll be able to walk in flip-flops in China, in Germany, in all these other countries and get paid six figures. You don't have to have a high school education to do this for real, but it's good for you to have one. You don't have to go to college. You just got to learn the necessary tools to be successful when you're playing with computers, because the tech world is really a great world to be in. And it's my job as an individual who, in my era, I would say this and people say, wow, I didn't see what everybody else seen because I never was around long enough to even recognize somebody being hungry, because everybody I knew had something to eat. But as I walked the penitentiary yards and I started reflecting on the people that was coming in, it told me like, ooh, you got to teach another way now. So my teaching always transferred, because I got a way to understand, because I done read 1,000,000 books, and I went all the way back in history to understand what is needed at the moment. Because right now we in a difficult moment that my corporation is Urban Recovery Los Angeles. So everybody asks, what do that mean? I say, I'm here to recover everything that everybody else did wrong. And I put myself in the same mix so I can grab these kids while we have an opportunity to take them on a new level. Because the playing field's always shift. Dope game don't stay the dope game. You know, you remember cotton picking. Black people pick cotton, but they don't pick cotton no more. Everybody say, wow, when the oil came, black people didn't get in the oil game. White people did. In the tech world, black people didn't get in the tech world. White people did. So why can't we put our children in place where they can merge themselves in those games? Right. So when they start merging themselves in those games, they can do something great. But this right here, off the record, this for you guys to understand the way I look at certain things. The Olympics is coming up. But before the Olympics come up, the World Games are coming up for soccer. And I want to see all the young kids around us right now go check themselves in a silk screen in class so they can learn how to make shirts right now, because there's going to be every state in the world is coming to the United States. And they need to have these T-shirts like the Spanish people sitting on the corners. They need to have these ready.
And this is what you teach them.
I teach not myself and not the kids. I teach you also. I give you the knowledge that I have so you can take advantage of this knowledge while I'm here. And I don't try to hold it back, because I want everybody who look like me to be successful. So that's the whole topic. It's like I try to make everybody successful in my early days on what the information they gave me. Now I got new information that I want to share so they can understand. Look, it's a different way to hustle. You don't have to hustle getting ready to go to jail. You can hustle by doing it this way. And then you can put your money in the bank, and then you can put it in loans and get the loans that you need to go forward. Because once you hit this milestone, here come the Olympics right behind it. And it's going to be, again, every country in the world going to be here for Olympics. Right. So here we are looking at each other saying, how much money do you have? How much money is going to take us to get where we want to go? It's not going to take that much, because you can save your money. You can go to work every day and save your money right now and go take that class at Trade Tech and come out of it and buy a machine for $10,000. And here you are in the game, right back in the game. But you're doing it so legally that no one can take that away from you this time. You just got to pay some taxes. So here we are, we're thinking about how do we redevelop our way of thinking. First, we got to touch the kids who was younger than us and try to explain to them, like, mama love you, but mama don't have the cure.
Yeah.
The cure is right here. This right here is going to take you and put you on a new platform. And you can take your mama later, but you need to learn this right here. And when you take care of this, you can look at the rest of the people around you like, we're on a mission. We're on a real mission. Our mission is to make sure that we restructure our community. So once we're there all the way, we can start buying our houses back what our uncles and our other people sold, how about regentrification, but they just sold the houses because they wanted mamas and grandfathers' money. And they gave everything away. So now the young kids got to get an opportunity right now at this time to put their thought pattern in order. So AI, it create all kind of things for you. So we got to bring our kids up on point and like, look, you can use AI to master off you a beautiful shirt that you want and have it printed. So when these people come from these other countries, you already got print of their country and it's on the t-shirt and they smiling like, yeah, give me that. Give me $35 here for $35. So as you print these shirts up now and be ready, there goes your jump start.
Like you say, it's still hustling, right? And another thing I really love that your organization is still Whitey's Enterprise. You know, because they're not only teaching the film is construction. You're teaching people how to do construction work and you know a whole bunch of other things, man. You still he owns a. There's so many things he's saying is possible for these kids to do. He owns a hamburger stand. He owns a smoke shop. You know, so he's in the community doing things. He's working with different things with the church.
Yes.
What you just had an event with a woman from Black Wall Street that just turned what 109 years old. Yes.
What's her name?
Her name is Mother Fletcher.
Happy birthday, Mother Fletcher.
Mother Fletcher.
And the great thing about the young lady, she's 109 years old. Oh, yeah. She's beautiful. She got her wits. And I must say, they asked me, Whitey, are you excited? I'm like, no. Because I don't know what failure is. I never failed at nothing I did, right? And the team around me from the churches, they in an uproar like, oh, Mother Fletcher here. And I'm looking at them like, nah, that's for you guys. I got to finish this show. This is a show. So with Mother Fletcher, she was here for 3 days and we put a spectacular show on. She sold about 300 books and people got an opportunity to see Black history. Yes. You know, Black history is important. And we sit back every day, we look at each other and we ridicule each other so much that we forget where we came from.
And Mother Fletcher, once again, is
the lady from Black Wall Street.
Yes. The last survivor.
Last survivor.
Yes, it's only 2 of them left.
Oh, it's 2, okay.
There's one 106 and there's one 109.
Wow.
And the great thing about it is that her story was told in a manner that what is important to me at this moment in my life, and she answered it so correctly that a tear came down my light. I'm like, wow, this lit my whole light up. She said, educate the kids.
Wow.
Educate the kids.
And that's what you're doing right now.
I try my best not to just educate kids. I try my best to educate whoever around me.
It's always been team.
Got to be team. And some people trying to run away from helping each other out. In the old days when you broke up with your girlfriends, her girlfriends were trying to get you back with her man. Now today, when you break up with your girlfriend, her girlfriend's trying to steal her man. So it's this crazy. So when I sit back and I have conversations, like my program is based on community. So when the weed industry came in, they needed an expert. I happen to be the expert. When the other part came rolling down the hill where they needed someone to step up and say, how are we gonna get somebody elected? Me and my team, we stepped to the plate like, how can we get Kern Price back elected? Let's get to work. So we had to tell Kern Price and a few other people this right here, and it may go over a whole lot of people's head, that if you want to be elected, you better go talk to those kids. And everybody be looking like, why? because the kids' mothers vote, fathers vote. So you lacking on your job. So you need to go talk to those kids and tell those kids that you are there for them to get them and put them in the right school and have the right tools to succeed in life. And this is what this is really all about. When I sit back and look at rappers and everything else, I'm like, when you guys gonna tell the kids, hey, you're gonna need to get a job because I worked real hard to get here and I was lucky.
Right.
I was lucky.
Yeah.
Dubs, ain't too many dubs.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
ain't too many dub C's. They don't get that lucky in the world. They can have all the talent in the world, but they don't have the right person pushing them. They're not gonna get there.
Yeah, on the right team, like you said.
Yeah. So
Well, thank you, man. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you taking out your busy schedule to come sit with us. And you don't sit with many people, so we really feel we really feel blessed, and we really appreciate you.
Thank you.
You know, when we bring people on, such as Whitey of Whitey Enterprises, it's not to glorify the game and the cars and the jewelry and all that, because there's a lot of that going on. We also want to show the growth in men and the concern for men and where the heart comes from. Even just because you're a hustler don't mean you're a bad person. It means you're stuck in a situation that you're trying to get out of, and you're trying to lift up and bring other people along the road with you. Sometimes the laws ain't in our favors, and sometimes you have to do a thing or two to make sure that you can advance in life. And sometimes we pay the price for having made those choices. But sometimes we welcome those choices and understand that that's what comes along with the game. But it's all about redemption and turning around and doing something great for the community. This man started an organization called Whitey's Enterprises, and he got out of prison after doing over 30 years, and he's still Whitey's Enterprises. But it went from doing bad to doing a whole lot of good. We salute him. He's a Los Angeles general that never told. You know what I'm saying? Stayed down 10 toes. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate you.
Much love. Much love. Much love.
you guys stay safe and keep living good.
Oh, yeah. We here, man.
So thank you for tuning in to the Dub C and CJ Mack show. Once again, I am CJ Mack.
And I am Dub C.
Yes, sir.
Like and subscribe too.
Hit the button.
Click, 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 click.
Yep, hit the button.
Yep. We out.